I'll give you a clue. It was Grimsby.
They are pressing quite well. What's happened there? You've got to be joking.
Oh, sorry, I've done it the wrong way around because I've drawn an arrow and I haven't seen it. Sorry.
He must have a horseshoe up his arse.
If we're playing on professional and that's happening for Barcelona...
2 years ago. Sorry about that, I don't know what that was.
I'm sorry, that's just put me off the game. I'm not having that.
Anyway, segue, moving on.
What has that got to do with football? Why is that at a football ground? Hello and welcome to another ramble from the Honest Football Podcast. I'm Charlie Betts and joining me this week and every week are Craig Savage and Daniel Cody.
So, how's your week been, guys? Charlie?
Well, quite an eventful week for me, really, but I did hear a story, Craig, about somewhere that you work about.
Oh, okay, not talking about yourself then?
No. As I say, nothing happened to me, but I did hear at the cafe at the establishment you work in.
Yes.
Bear in mind, it's a massive. Am I allowed to say the name of them? But
no.
Well,
Even
Craig
though
has
I
mentioned them
have
a number
Oh,
of
you have
times.
mentioned so Sainsbury's, the giant supermarket is Sainsbury's. Their cafe ran out of toast. Is that correct?
But he didn't say it'd run out of toast. Did they not have toast to start with, or did they run out of toast? That's the bit I need to know.
The term that I was given was they've run out of toast. And
How does the supermarket run out of toast, Craig?
Normally means someone forgot to order.
There's myself, my deputy manager, and the cafe manager all had our heads in our hands, going, "What? Don't say that," because the customers are getting more angry by the term. But in their big breakfasts, or fry, actually, as you say. Instead of getting toast, they're just having bread and butter. So
there is bread on.
There's bread, but the toaster machine wasn't working. But it's not the toaster machine that's broken.
You haven't run out of toast then, have you? You've just got a broken toast machine.
Yeah.
If you start run out of toast and you serve a slice of white bread.
That's what I was saying.
Taking a piss, mate, here.
So you must get your lighter out and start cooking it yourself.
Surely you'll get customers saying, "Do you not know that's how it's made? You just toast that stuff."
I mean,
yeah, it was a cringy moment, and it was quite hilarious.
Just really quickly, I'm sure there must be an electrical department in Sainsbury's.
There is, and there's
which
an Argos.
sells, and an Argos,
and
which
a bakery
probably
department.
sells appliances that could toast
yes.
bread that
you know,
need
like a
toasted.
toaster.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, those sort of things.
And you weren't allowed to use a toaster?
No, for safety reasons, something like that.
Safety?
Yeah, no, because you have to get some certified. Well,
no, man, it must be so. You're selling unsafe toasters now? Is that what's happening?
No, you're saying if you get that home, you better get it checked.
For the kitchen itself.
Getting pat tested when you
always
get
get rid of this section. No, so yeah, it was funny, and I would go again. It's not the first time though. It wasn't the first time.
And Dan, how are you feeling at the minute?
You're struggling, mate.
I'm struggling.
I'm with you in this. I'm struggling as well.
Yeah, there'll be a few coughs this week. I mean, we've all had that time in our lives where we have to go and thank the lords that are Lemsip and Beecham's for getting us through a week, because man flu is one of the worst things you could be.
Surely you would have got some freebies where you work.
I don't, unfortunately. We're not allowed to have drugs like that on site. So
did you get any?
We're not allowed to have plasters on site.
The important question is:
that is very true. Same with my person.
Have you had a lot of sympathy for your man flu?
No, because I work in a place where every other member of non-clinical staff is female, and
they're not sympathetic.
So when you lose your voice, it's just a bit of man flu, you'll be fine, you know. But as soon as they've got a cold, you're covering reception because they're all off sick, aren't they? So that's my week.
Wow, wasn't expecting that, were we? Wow. And now it's time for Ramble of the Week. And we start off with a bit of breaking news from today that Billericay have a new manager, and it's the old manager who got sacked, and now he's been sacked, got the place again, now he's been sacked, and now he's back again, and it's Harry Wheeler.
Harry Wheeler, but have you seen who's appointed as assistant?
Yes,
that's easy for me to say, bloody hell, tonight give me a disaster.
Jamie O'Hara
is
the assistant.
I believe was released in December,
yes.
So a month ago,
so he's
now come back, and not just as an assistant, as a player assistant. So essentially, I assume the same role, for more money.
So he was one of the ones who was let go to try and make the club more self-sustainable because he was on too much money. And now he's back as a player coach under Harry Wheeler, who was sacked by text 5 minutes before the end of the game for tactical decisions.
Was that in August, was it?
That was in September?
That was
their first loss of the season.
Their first loss of the season. He lost, I believe, 1 or 2 in 30 games in the league and was sacked. And obviously since he's gone, they've tumbled down to 8th place.
Yeah.
The one thing that I am disappointed about is my relegation bet was finally starting to look likely. And I think
now
you might just
it's coming back.
Have you seen? I mean, this will wind you up so chronic. There's a picture of Glenn Tamplin outside the ground with just literally a piece of paper to announce, obviously, Harry Wheeler and Jamie
I did
O'Hara
see that.
Just a piece of paper.
And it just says, bringing the old gang back together, or something like that. And it's like, But you
got rid of
split them up. You're the one who fired all of them or released them.
He's making it out like I'm speaking here. I'm bringing back all the
Yeah,
favourites.
exactly.
But all you've done is derailed the season. For
Yeah.
But I wanted to draw my attention to two things from this, and this is probably the most vocal I'm going to be in this podcast, which is good because my voice will run out after 20 minutes. So it's a good start. I want to first talk about Harry Wheeler, a man who got sacked by text 5 minutes before the end of a game by Glenn Tamplin. Obviously, he's had an unsuccessful spell at Maidstone since, but you've just got to have a bit of respect for yourself, haven't you? Like, if I got offered to go back to a job where that had happened to me, I'd say, do you know what? Don't worry about it.
The only thing that makes me think he would have gone back is he's getting more money than what he was on before.
Yeah.
But
Of course,
surely,
because that's what he can demand now, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, you've made a mistake. Well, pay me what you want.
Yeah.
But that, to me, I would put my pride above that.
Yeah.
But the more important... Go on, sorry.
No, I was pretty sure that Nathan Jones would probably do that in about 6 months' time.
Well, there's enough snakes in the room, aren't there?
Yeah, no,
Yes.
I think you have got to have a bit of self-respect. I mean, as a player as well, even more so, to be released, not sold, not even loaned out, to just be said, told, right, really, we're not going to look into play you anymore. And then to come back as well, it's the same sort of thing with Jamie O'Hara, isn't it?
It's not like Jamie O'Hara is
He's
young.
32, by the way.
Yeah,
Jamie
that's
O'Hara
what
is
I say, it's
32.
not
Come
like
back as a player as well, hasn't he?
Come back as a player coach, 32 years old.
I mean, I tried really hard in the spirit of Nathan Jones, as you mentioned him. I was trying in your local corner shop, Charlie, to find some jelly snakes, but I couldn't do that. So unfortunately, we're without that. Yeah. But the other thing I wanted to mention was Glenn Tamplin. At the end of his statement, where he's making this big hero's welcome, which was I've been away from the club for a few months. I've kept in contact with Dean Brennan, who was in charge, and his assistant. I can't wait to share with you what I've bought from America. I've been doing lots of research. I can't wait to show what we found. It's amazing. I'm going to be back with a bang. Just to remember that. Okay.
What, the white powder?
I can't comment on that. That's controversial and political. I've made my controversial statement in the intro. We won't go on from there. But I just thought he finished the statement off by making it all about him again.
Yeah,
he just couldn't let it go and be about Harry Wheeler and the assistant. It had to be, I'm coming back with a bang, guys.
Well,
Who cares? You're the owner. Stay in the background.
Apparently he was exhausted, wasn't he? That's why he went to America. I mean, I don't know what he was exhausted doing, but...
Not doing research.
Exactly, yeah, to be
Well,
honest, sacking managers
singing
and
the
players.
world's greatest 50 million times.
But no, I agree with you. It's always about him, isn't it? And I don't think that'll ever change. And I just think, as you say, going there as a manager, I think you have to accept you're always going to be second fiddle.
And I think, the one thing I will give him credit for is we talk a lot about mutual consent. It was one of the recent rants. He's not a mutual consent man, and I'll give him
in
that.
fairness, he does sack people, doesn't he? But yeah. Moving on, this is probably more of a theme for this episode, a lot more non-league stuff.
And quite local to us, a lot of it.
Yeah, so
it's quite local.
Local team Aylesbury FC are in step 4 of the non-league pyramid.
Yes.
Who, Craig, you'll probably know a bit more about this because I haven't played a bit higher, but there are certain requirements to play in particular leagues, isn't there?
Yeah,
something we spoke about before.
Yeah, we mentioned before on the
distances from changing rooms to pitches and all stuff like that.
Yeah,
But I don't think it's ever really hurt anyone as a team, apart from just being a bit annoying and maybe picking up your fine until now, really. In the sense of Aylesbury FC, regardless of their league position,
they can finish third in the league in the playoffs and they'll still be relegated to step 5, which is very sad because all the
referees change room is not big enough.
Yeah, all the volunteers there obviously work hard to build stuff around the ground and help obviously get in, and it's all been ruined because of a stupid FA rule of having a certain size changing room.
The thing we mentioned before when we brought this up a few months ago was about only giving teams at that level 5 or 6 months to submit a planning permission.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Because it's not.
There are a lot of public-owned facilities.
Well, that's the thing, because Aylesbury said it's not that they can't ever do the work that's needed, but they can't get it done. They can't get the permission in by the 31st of October. They can't guarantee that they'll be able. 31st of March, sorry, October, sorry.
But it only came out in October.
31st of March, so they can't guarantee to get it by then. So I mean, as a club now, you're potentially looking to lose a lot of money because the players are going to be looking at doesn't matter how well I perform.
And even then, you can't keep your players because of the revenue. Yeah. It's going to go down because less fans are going to come on. It's a lower tier.
And that's what I was going to say. Less fans will probably come this season because essentially every game now is a dead rubber. You could go out, put your youth team out, lose 8-0 every week, and it's not going to make a blind bit of difference.
Every league game's pointless from this point onwards.
Yeah. So and that's not. We're in January and it should never be like that.
But how does that help an FA competition?
Well, that's the thing. I don't get what.
Then how they go down, and then someone else has to go up to meet a certain amount of required.
They've got 6 months. They can't do it.
Yeah, and then exactly. So FA never going to win on this, and it's a shame on the non-league clubs.
It's one of
a lot of non-league clubs work their arses off a whole season just to get to a certain point.
And over a fucking changing room, it's one of the stupidest things ever. If it's a small cagey changing room, get over it. The referee, there's only bloody one ref and occasionally 2 linesmen. That's it.
Well, there will be 3.
Yeah, so there's 3. Are you telling me? I mean, I've not seen the space at Aylesbury FC. Is it big enough for 3 people to sit in?
Yeah.
Well, it's been big enough up to now.
Yeah.
It's not as if... if there's been reports of, the referee's had to get changed in his car for the last 4 years, I'd understand that. But clearly it's big enough for now, because no one's moaned about the size of the referee.
I mean, I haven't seen referees going to local police asking for arrest warrants over the conditions of the changing rooms,
There was a video out on Twitter today from BBC Three Counties, Ollie Bayless, and he was basically showing... Well, it had the one toilet, the one shower, a couple of seats. That's all you need.
Well, it's only 3 of them. You go to a football stadium, you get a toilet per 150,000 people. It's fine.
Yeah, and the FA should really be concentrating on teams that have really bad discipline, rather than teams with a small referee change.
There's lots of other bigger
They
issues.
should concentrate on having referees to get in the changing rooms,
exactly.
rather than
That is very true.
you got a changing room that's going to be lovely for referees, and there's no funding for referees to actually get refs in there.
Do the referees honestly care how nice a facility is?
I mean, let's be honest. It's not. It's very different to a team change room. You're in there to, I assume, literally get changed. Obviously, if you're a team,
you have a bit of bonding after
and all of that.
that.
Yeah, referees get changed, do the game, go and have their sandwiches, and clear off. It's like
it's
ridiculous.
It's pointless, and I feel for Aylesbury.
Sometimes I think it's keeping people in their job. There's probably a lot of people in the FA who are sitting there, not twiddling their thumbs, but need to justify the position. Oh, let's come up with another rule for this, another rule for that.
And haven't got the authority to make footballing decisions.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
Little admin things.
Will just be some geeky twat in front of the computer thinking, I know what we need is a bigger changing room. You know what I mean?
But the background of the FA.
Lovely accent. No, it'll be some job though who's never been involved in football and
But
some
that's
admin.
the point. The background of most people in the FA as a pyramid will be admin or business related rather than football related, and as a result most of the decisions are related to business and admin and not about the footballing side.
But most of the grounds are old, and I mean not like in a disrespectful way of old. I mean the old fashioned with the space obviously ain't going to be there.
There's no funding to upgrade them, is there?
Exactly, and they should really keep that as well. Obviously there's new facilities out there that look fantastic, but sometimes the older grounds are just brilliant special.
It's always been, on a more broad scale, the greatest thing about English football is we have such a large, high quality pyramid that goes on for a long time with clubs like the FA Cup, the FA Trophy,
any other country in the world,
and that is going to be killed at some point.
Just while we're on grassroots stuff, it's one more moment, and then we'll go a bit more positive. Cornwall FA under 18s are meant to play Wiltshire FA under 18s tomorrow, and it's been cancelled because Wiltshire, a whole county, couldn't get a side.
The whole county?
They couldn't fill a side.
There'll be some politics in the background there.
But I mean, how does that happen? I mean, talking about a whole county, under 18s, could not get a side.
Again, you're saying under 18s. We used to have that a lot when we were at school. I can only talk from my experience at school, where a lot of our kids would be signed up to the Luton Town FC Academy, but then also play for Luton schools, and there used to be huge politics about one or the other.
I get that, but even if you can't get them, you then go for the next, I'm not saying second string, but there must be lads who are signed to local clubs. I mean, say a whole county couldn't get a team, that's just baffling for me. And that's a sorry state of affairs.
Well, they're too busy drawing maps of how their changing room's going to look, so that's the problem. They're not able to go around and get 12 people together to make an 11 and a sub.
It's really, really stupid. In other news, going really quickly to Northern Ireland, just actually quite a nice story.
Okay, we're not going for that story.
No, not that one.
No.
Glentoran, who have had awful things on the pitch in terms of results and stuff, in the last 2 games, we're doing a fundraiser for multiple sclerosis, and they managed to raise about nearly $2,000.
Right,
so well done. Brilliant.
And that's just fans, all this sort of stuff.
The proper football community.
Exactly, and that's the flip side of it. You got so the bureaucrats doing this, but then actually, the community.
And maybe some more people will be able to contribute if the FAs weren't giving out fines for stupid things.
Exactly. Sin bins, Craig. Do you know much about this?
Well, I know they're bringing it in.
They're bringing it in, so they've actually now brought out a little card for the referee to carry around that gives not a card to show, like a key to show what offences can deem. So it's obviously not what offences. Sorry, what combination can make a player not come back onto the pitch after a sin bin or can be allowed.
This is going to take as long as VAR.
So basically, it's if you get dissent. Obviously, for dissent, that's a 10-minute sin bin they're on about bringing in.
That's going to be a big card, isn't it?
Yeah. So if you just do that once, you're allowed to come back on after the 10 minutes and obviously enter the game field of play. If you are given a sin bin for dissent and then cautioned, you can also, not for a separate offence. So you obviously sent off to the pitch for 10 minutes for dissent. Then a late tackle, a caution for that. You can enter the pitch and also you carry on with the game. If you get 2 sin bins for dissent, you are then sent off for the 20 minutes.
Oh, it's gone up to 20 now.
But I assume so. I haven't got anything to say. It isn't. Maybe it isn't.
That's just 2 10s. I think.
Yeah.
It's a fine.
But you can be substituted, so you can't come back on. but your manager can substitute you at the end of the sin bin period.
Right.
So.
Oh, I thought you meant during.
No.
That's
So you have to. So your team will have to play with the 10 men, and then obviously you're then you can be substituted. If you are cautioned first, and then you have a descent, that's the same as before. You can enter the field of play afterwards. If you have 2 descents and a caution, you are sin binned and you're not allowed to make a sub. So essentially, you're sent off. If you get a booking and then 2 sin bins for descent.
Yeah, the sin bins is only for descent at the moment.
So yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. So, but if you get 2 of those and a booking, you're effectively.
So
sent
is
off.
the referee going to get his key card out? And go,
Well, I think so. Yeah, to be honest.
What's he going to say on it other than descent? And then, you can come back on or you can't.
What made me laugh was the fact that the card is a lot bigger than what it needs to be, in the sense of not just have they given the caution descent. Yeah, but what I mean is they've done caution, descent, but they've then also done descent, caution, descent, which is still the same offence, just in a different order. But they still felt the need to put that on.
Really trusting their referee.
That's what I mean. Like, surely someone must have looked right. No. Well, if it's basically 2 descents and a caution, you must be, you're off the field of play. Surely it's the same in any other combination of that.
Craig,
referee's going to get confused by it. I had a referee 2 weeks ago booking their player for kicking the ball away, and it's come back onto us saying our player kicked the ball away. But
that's human error. I don't think that's to do with cards.
Well, that's what referees going to do.
But that increases the chance of human error. Exactly. I agree with Craig there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that'll happen anyway, though, won't it? I think it's
crap.
Can I?
I agree on sin bins away, but the way they're explaining it is fucking.
The negative of it is definitely the way the card's been designed, and as you say, it's been made unnecessarily complicated.
Yeah.
You just put it's a combination of 1 yellow and 2 sin bins. That's all you need to put. You don't need to do it every way round. One of the positives I'd say of it, I was really worried that it was going to be as sort of a replacement for a yellow card for dissent. But as it's come in as a completely separate thing, it should work a lot better, because a lot of refs will be scared if they know it's the equivalent of a yellow or a red. But just having that option of you're only going off for 10 minutes to cool down will probably make them more likely to, as we mentioned before when we discussed sin bins in great depth, the punishment doesn't fit the crime anymore. It shouldn't be a straight red, but going off means they're more likely to give a punishment for it.
Yeah.
Which can only be a good thing to start stamping it out. But why is it starting so far down? Start in the Premier League.
Yeah, and work it backwards.
Let's hope that some referees are not too busy and then it'll be down to 7v7 for 10 minutes.
How big is the... I know in local areas it's going to be hard, but how big is the sin bin area going to be? Because what if 8 go off?
Well, exactly, yeah.
Where is the sin bin
What
area?
happens?
It can't be in the same...
I mean, it doesn't say on the card, and that's literally my only reference point regarding
I've got one genuine question here, and I don't know if anyone's thought of it. What happens, say 2 players from each team get sent for dissent at the same time, and they're in the same pen off the pitch. Who's managing that? Because those 4 will be having a fight, let me tell you that much.
That's interesting. Is there separate pens? Do you have one at one behind one corner?
How can you regulate that? There's only a ref and 2 linesmen.
And
at that level, there's not even linesmen.
I'm not sure the council are going to create more boxes.
Just start drawing boxes everywhere around the pitch.
Yeah.
But genuinely, how do you stop that when you're off the pitch?
I totally agree with you. When
you're off the pitch, you can no longer
They've clearly sorted out the combinations that you can be sent off for and stuff, but they haven't quite figured out where to put people.
But again, it's because they've not got to worry about that. They've got to worry about the form filling. But once it gets to the day, the ref will be fine.
That's true.
And for me, it's not the ideal that you walk off the pitch and just stand there lovely for 10 minutes, stand still and wait. If you 2 opposing players, you'll just have a fight, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I totally agree.
Especially if you're pumped up and you've got sent for the scent in the first place, you must be a bit angry.
And obviously at our level, it'll be a fine that is quite hefty for people who hold down normal jobs. So they're going to be annoyed about that.
Well, that's their own fault.
No, look, what I'm saying is, but they're going to be annoyed. That's already going to annoy them, isn't it?
One question is, after do referees go back to the FA and go, right, this club had 3 players in sin bin, so do they get a fine after that, or does a certain amount of players get?
You mean like a Premier League failing to control your players?
Something.
Yeah, but again, like you were just saying, you got to talk about referees who maybe couldn't understand which player kicked the football. How is he going to then take notes in a little booklet?
Well, it's quite obvious.
No, what I'm saying is, but you're saying about failing to control your players and stuff. But do you need to identify which players?
A simple suggestion? I doubt they'll do it because it's a bit too simple for them. But where you have a tick to say you've yellow or red carded someone, you should then have a sin bin box as the third one. But I'm sure that won't be the way it's implemented.
No.
But there we go. Plenty of positives that could happen, but
it's a very positive. Today.
I've got a funny one. This is my favourite tweet of the week. Combines Counties Football League. Enfield Borough were meant to play Bedfont and Feltham out, but they play at Wingate and Finchley's ground.
Okay.
But unfortunately, the game had to be cancelled. Would you like to just have a quick guess why? It's properly wacky reason.
I will say something in a minute, but I'm going to guess this first. Why would it be called off? I don't know.
It was the Middlesex Premier Cup, so it was a midweek game. Yeah. Thursday night it was due to
Middlesex Premier Cup. Cricket.
No, not cricket.
Their ground hasn't got a cricket ground.
I'll put you out your misery. Basically, obviously at that level of football, you need to have a clubhouse available afterwards for food to support and all of that. Their clubhouse wasn't available because the local bridge club had booked it.
Oh, lovely.
As in, like, bridge the card game and all of that.
Unfortunately, Charlie, unfortunately, you've made a bit of a mistake at the start.
Have I?
Yeah, because Enfield Borough in the Spartan South Midlands Division 1.
That says Enfield Borough in the Combined Counties Football League.
Yeah, but that's not that. No, that's them tweeting it.
Well,
Bedford and Felton were
well, clearly Spartan South Midlands need to sort out their blooming Twitter page, don't they? The point being, a football game got cancelled.
Look,
you're
he did really well there. He got a really nice story about non-league English, not African, English football, and you've just shattered him to bits.
Do that again.
What? God.
No,
this might pick up in a minute.
Well, no one's gonna complain. Oh, he got the wrong league. He did. You know what I mean?
Charlie, I enjoyed the story, and I think as a mark of respect,
against them this last season.
No, I did, but I'm just saying. I assumed it was. It said Middlesex Premier Cup. So that's not even that competition.
As a mark of respect, you should play card games with Charlie.
we'll play bridge.
Yeah. Quickly, I don't know if you saw this in Japan as well. I'm going to move on quickly.
Go on, you're rolling.
I think it's Japan. It could be Korea. I don't know, Craig. Whatever. But no, it is.
No, I'm just saying. Those were the comments of Charlie Betts.
No, I just didn't know if you were going to pick me up again. No, Keizuki Moyura, who's 51 years old.
Oh, I did see this.
Signed an extension to his contract for another year.
He's very much in a J League in Japan.
For Yokohama FC, and that'll be his 34th season as a professional footballer.
Fair play to him.
Yeah,
brilliant work.
Well, sticking with Asia, it's the Asian Cup, as we mentioned last week. And
there's plenty of nuggets coming out of there.
Great segue. Australia were playing Syria, and Australia won 3-2, but there was a bit of controversy for Syria, because Syria won a penalty, but it was one Syrian player accidentally tripped up his own teammate, and the referee gave a penalty.
And there's no VAR.
No VAR.
I love those,
So,
they must have been infurious.
Australia were fuming, but
good.
Australia won the game.
So
no harm.
No sledging
was done in all of
just plenty of amusement.
Yes, it was. Going to the Football League, Cody, you went to watch Sunderland versus Luton Town at the Stadium of Light.
A lovely long trip.
Did you see anyone from Netflix?
I didn't. I didn't. A really great away following, a big attendance. Not really a League One game. It was a Championship standard game. I think both managers said as much. We had a Premier League referee in charge who...
Shocking.
To be fair, a lot of people have said shocking. Generally, the game management was not good. But the two big decisions, which were the red cards, even though one was rescinded in the end, I think were probably fair enough decisions. The penalty, the Sunderland fans we were with after at the other end said, fair enough, it was a penalty.
Oh, okay. I thought it
was a bit soft, but...
I thought it was soft.
They were sitting behind the goal and they said it was a penalty. Just got to say on the point, Sunderland... All the fans, absolutely brilliant. From the moment we got there to the moment we left. Yeah. Friendly, brilliant place.
I'll tell you what, I watched the documentary It's On Until I Die. The fans are actually really good, to be fair.
Yeah.
Obviously, start of the season, obviously expectations they want to be back in the Premier League. Then they just realised after that, they go, we are shit. They knew they were going down, and obviously they felt...
The atmosphere in the ground is the one thing I'd say was a bit disappointing. They were a bit quiet, but then I guess for large parts of the game until the red card, we dominated, so I can understand that. But... They're a good club. I hope they go back up to the Championship because they're a big enough club for it. And we're joining them, but that depends on us getting a goal scorer.
Do you know who watched the game?
I don't. Well, I do about 37,000 people.
Yeah, but do you know who else watched the game?
Me and a friend as well. Yeah.
It was Leeds United, and we're going to segue away to the Spygate.
That is the worst segue
for Stoke City purposes.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't lead that well, did you?
No. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously been covered.
Quite a lot. If you.
The only thing that I found quite amusing is that there was a little article here on the BBC about actually what other managers have said. I don't know if you saw it. He did a PowerPoint presentation.
I haven't seen him.
I've got some strong views on this.
Yeah. So basically, a lot of them have said that it's obviously to you guys who aren't involved in the football world in the way we are. This looks really complicated and sophisticated, but actually. It's a very basic sort of set of data and things that he uses. It's not really anything extravagant in the way that people think it is.
The point I wanted to make is all the journalists were coming out saying incredible news conference from Bielsa. That's the same as your data analyst on Football Manager. That's all he does. It's just a bloody graph saying all of their results and their strong and weak areas.
Yeah.
It's common at football clubs anywhere in the Football League upwards. And the fact that journalists who make themselves, you know when you watch like, I don't want to put anyone under the bus, but when you watch like Sky Sports News, and these people make themselves look like they're on the inside, they're experts, and They don't even know what's going on in general life.
Exactly.
The Sky Sports transfer window is sponsored by Football Manager, and they've not even looked at the bloody game to see what data analysis is in football.
It is quite. If you get a chance, I won't obviously read them all out because I haven't got enough time. But if you get a chance, just look at some of the quotes from other managers in Championship and League One, whose opinion of his PowerPoint presentation it is like it's very basic. It's not even that very. It's not that accurate.
He's not really given a big insight.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's the same what Sam Allardyce has done for years.
Yeah, but it's
about all the spying.
It would be like in any of our industries if we did something that maybe not a lot of people would see unless you worked in that environment. It would be quite mind blowing. I'm sure if I looked at some of the stuff that you have at your job, Dan, on the computers or whatever. With
yes,
your
I went to spy on
like
Tesco's.
even how you lot, in your job, Craig, for example, the stock taking and all that would blow my mind if I don't work in that industry.
The only bit you'll get out of the NHS computers is how easy they are to hack.
Yeah,
but even then, that's still no. But it's not something.
And if you want to get anything from my place, is how slow it is.
There's one comment I'd like to make on that spying thing. Is there's all this stupid talk about points deduction and things like that. I saw the Bristol City owner came out today and said, "Oh, let's get a points deduction." I promise you, when all of it washes under, that's commonplace.
Yeah. Oh, no,
I promise you.
Do you think
there
there'll
was
be
a good
a points
article.
deduction?
I will say,
not in a million years will there be a points deduction. Do you know why? Because by the end of the season, 14 clubs will have had a points deduction in that.
There was quite a good article, and I'm sure we all know about it. The bloody press do it to enough clubs anyway. I know they don't have the thing of them giving information to.
Actually, the prime example was the photographer took a photo of the England team in the World Cup.
So it's been going on for ages. It's just that he's silly enough to get caught, wasn't he?
He's honest.
Yeah.
Honest,
That's the difference.
Screw this.
And we love honesty.
We do love honesty,
even though we very rarely produce it ourselves.
Yeah, but also was very honest, and we appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
Even though it's a bit wrong, but
still in the Championship as well. Ashley Cole might be going to Derby County after being released from the mighty LA Galaxy. He's now still good enough to play in the Championship, which I find.
Frank Lampard.
Yeah, it's just job for the boys, ain't it? To be honest.
Can I?
It's like everyone going to Rangers because of Gerrard.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I suppose, to a point. However, I would say that the standard...
that's an easy payday.
Yeah, from the Scottish Premiership to the Championship huge. Whereas,
Oh.
Ashley Cole can't loaf in there where he could probably get away with that in the Scottish
I like
Premiership.
Derby. I think Derby was good.
I agree. I just wanted to mention one other thing on the Championship. Obviously, it's the second time and the last time I'm going to talk about Mr. Snake in the Grass, which is Nathan Jones.
Don't know who he is.
And it leads us on to the FA Cup replays in midweek.
Yes, because...
So, Luton were unfortunate. They were probably the better side, but just got a shout. We haven't got a goal scorer at the moment. All of our strikers
put that ball in the net.
Bar Collins, we haven't got any strikers fit, so that's the problem with that. But Stoke City, shock of the round, sorry.
What were they? When did 2-0 up until what?
2-0 up until the 70th minute? Something like that.
Letting 3 goals in 11 minutes.
3 goals in 11 minutes.
So
it screws me. And I have to be honest, I haven't seen the highest as much, but 10,000 fans are at Stoke game on Tuesday night.
Yeah.
And that's a 30,000 capacity stadium.
It is.
What is going on with the attendance?
And
I know it's Stoke and Shrewsbury and it's but still.
You see, was it Derby Southampton as well? That stadium was half empty.
I mean,
one end of the
great
ground.
Game, by the way.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But
But again, you're saying the attendances for replays is low. But on the flip side of it, I know what people's argument will start to be. Bin off the replays because clearly no one goes to watch them. However,
cheaper ticket.
Yeah, but I'm saying, however, the money that other smaller clubs would lose off the back of that is
exactly.
Luton was full price and almost sell out.
Yeah,
just
no, agree. But what I mean is that for these bigger clubs like Southampton, for example, to have a half-empty stadium, it's just not.
It's not right.
They've got the TV money. Don't matter.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah.
I wanted to mention also while we were here about the 4th round TV games.
Yeah, good thing we're not going to Stamford Bridge on 6 p.m.
How is that coming up? Was it 6 o'clock on a Sunday?
6 o'clock on Sunday. I feel for Sheffield Wednesday fans. They've got to go from
I
Sheffield
wanted to move elsewhere in this one because on the Friday night, the first tie that BBC have picked as the first pick for the round, Arsenal Man United. How bloody magical, and you wonder why the FA Cup's time. Again, the stadium will be half empty. They'll both be reserve teams out, although Arsenal shouldn't be because they should be trying to win it, but we've been there before. And I want to credit BT on the other side of that because they picked Barnet's game, the National League. There's no Premier League teams involved. It's just about
Brentford on the
Brentford on the Monday night. They've not picked a big Premier League tie. They've picked one of the best ties for a smallest team left in the competition, which is brilliant.
For a potential shot.
And they did the same last time with Woking as well, picking the lowest ranked team in the competition.
Was that on TV?
Woking Watford was on TV. So well done to BT Sport for both.
Do you even notice?
Absolutely.
Coach.
Have you seen Sol Campbell's added to his backroom staff?
Andy Cole,
no less. And I put in quote as it's got here to look at the strikers.
Can I just say something on this? We've mentioned a couple of times. his interview when he joined the club was extremely arrogant and very self-centred. He is turning out to be one of the best young managers in the Football League very quickly. Well, Andy Cole is a brilliant appointment.
I didn't realise he's been working at a few clubs, hasn't he? MK Dons, But Andy Cole's been around a little bit.
Yeah, he hasn't been well.
Andy Cole's largely worked where Devante Cole was.
Really quickly, Craig, you love a good stat. There was one released so far about Gary Johnson. Obviously, you're a massive fan of Torquay.
Have you seen
under 22 games they played, won 16, drawn 4, lost 2, scored 62 goals. The previous manager, in the same time, they had less than a goal a game. So with more or less the same resources and stuff, it's fantastic. Such an not valued. What's the word? But do you know what I mean? He doesn't get anywhere near enough credit for what. Underrated, yeah.
And they're going to win that league at a canter now.
Yeah.
I mean, the only risk is that Woking are out of the FA Cup and could catch them. But I had them two as my playoff final at the end of the year, and one of them's going up, which is great.
Yeah, no, exactly. No, I think it's fantastic.
So obviously Luton had 2 planning permissions. One's for a new stadium at Power Court, right in the town centre, and another project at Luton's Park, just off Junction 10 of the M1, which is going to be a mixed-use site.
Yeah.
So the stadium went through to the planning committee on Wednesday night, and it's been unanimously approved, which is finally, for the first time in nearly 70 years, Luton will get a new stadium.
There was a brilliant interview with a former player from the 50s who's 90 years old now. So when I signed for Luton, they were talking about, when they were doing my contract negotiations, they were talking about a new stadium. I just thought that was absolutely brilliant. 60, 70 years later. And I've got to say, our chief executive, Gary Sweet, was a brilliant football man for the club.
Absolutely fantastic.
Brilliant in there. Not just for football, I know we're a football podcast, but for the community.
Yeah.
Luton needs a bit of regeneration, and it should be a wonderful thing for the town, should the second one go through as well. But obviously the second one has to be delayed with the not having a manager and a transfer window. There's so much going on. He just needs a bit of a break to compose himself.
There probably might be a few tweaks, because there was a bit of, in that committee, there was a few tweaks on certain
Well, that's it. It's just trying to make
sure it's 100% so that the planning committee go, right, we don't really want to listen to the objectors' opinions, really. But hopefully, if that one goes ahead, that will fund the stadium, and it'll be brilliant for the whole town. As you said, regeneration is needed.
So, fingers crossed, everyone, for the footballing community and for the town itself.
Okay, it's my favourite time of the show, which is Name The Matchday Squad. It's the third take of doing this. So we're going to go for a fairly neutral game, but a high-profile one. So we're going to choose the 2013 FA Cup final between Manchester City and Wigan.
I won't be able to do much of that.
Which finished with Wigan winning 1-0. For those who haven't listened before, it is sudden death.
But this is going to be a short one today.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a long one, but we massively overran on the ramble, and I've got a lot to edit. So, no, it is sudden death. You're going to take it in turn to name anyone who featured in the game from the starting 11 and the subs bench. Which by the sounds of it, we won't get to the end of that, then there'll be a tiebreaker on people who were on the bench but didn't play, and we'll go from there, really. That's about it.
And just in case anyone didn't hear, it's sudden death.
It is sudden death.
Okay. Sudden death.
The current score is Cody 3, myself 2, but it could go either way.
Man City made 3 subs. Wigan only made 1.
The problem with a game like this, the problem with a game like this for me and Craig is how much of City's first team played.
I would say a fair amount of it.
I would have thought a straight side.
Here we go, because you might get it done quickly.
I'll go first.
I kind of wish you'd gone for 2011 with Stoke, because I wouldn't know more of that.
Okay, so I'm going to start with Joe Hart.
Joe Hart started in goal for Man City, yes.
Wonderful. I am going to go for Pablo Zabaleta.
He did, and then he was sent off on the 84th minute in the second goal.
It's a slow start, isn't it?
David Silva.
David Silva played, yes, yeah. He started the game.
I'm going to go for Sergio Aguero.
Sergio Aguero started the game up front, yeah.
There's going to be a lot of jazz fillers in this, isn't there?
I said Zach.
This is
Gael Clichy.
Gael Clichy, whoever he is, he started at left back, yes, yeah.
I think I've got one up my sleeve, but I'm going to leave it. I'm going to go for it. I know he's always injury prone, but I'm going to go for Company.
Vincent Kompany was captain that day and started the game.
Thank you very much.
Ben Watson.
Fucking hell, you nicked my Wigan one.
It's the obvious one!
Ben
He
Watson
scored the winner!
Ben Watson was Wigan's only sub.
Exactly!
So he replaced someone.
Very good sum of that.
If I'm honest, if you get who he replaced, then you should probably win on a game breaker, because yeah, go on anyway.
Oh, there's some Wigan ones I know, but I feel like I want to leave them. But I don't know any of the City ones.
I'm showing the City ones.
Oh, I think I've got one up my sleeve, but I might have to go for it early.
Go on then.
No, I'm going to take as long as you did. I want to know once it's edited. I've got a name. For
Go
Wigan,
on.
which may or may not be right.
Go on.
Maynor Figueroa. I'm out already.
Maynor Figueroa did not play, unfortunately.
Oh no! That's a game
I
changer.
thought it was a shoo-in for Wigan.
Oh! I have to say it and then we'll be level.
Oh,
His name. I'm going for a Wigan player. Emerson Boyce.
He was captain that day.
Yes! 3-3.
Can I just ask a question? Was Ali Al Habsi in goal?
Yeah, it was.
No.
Was he not?
Habsi was on the bench, didn't play. I'll go through the teams.
I wish I'd got to that stage with Craig.
You got so for Man City, you had Joe Hart, Pablo Zabaleta, Vincent Kompany.
Demichelis.
No.
Marian Nastasic.
Yeah, that's just Stasic, yeah. I couldn't remember his
Gail
first name.
Clichy, David Silva, Yaya Toure, Gareth Barry,
Yeah, I had Yara on my head.
Sammy Nasri, Sergio Aguero, Carlos Tevez. Off the bench, James Milner,
Yeah.
Jack Rodwell,
Oh, God.
and Edin Dzeko. People who didn't come on, Costel Pantilimon,
God.
Jolien Lescott, Alexander Kolarov, and Javi Garcia.
Oh, he was awful.
Yeah. For Wigan, Joel Robles.
Oh, John Robles.
He started in goal. Emerson Boyce, Paul Shana,
Shana. What player?
Antolin Alcaraz, Roger Espinoza, James McCarthy, that was both of them. Geordie Gomez, Callum McManaman, who got man of the match that day.
He was excellent.
Aruna Kone, Sean Maloney, Sean Maloney, Scottish legend. And Ben Watson was the sub that you named to come off the bench. Yeah. People who didn't make it onto the pitch for Wigan, Ali Al-Habsi.
You're making me look good by
Gary Caldwell, Roman Golabar, Fraser Fivey, Franco Di Santo, and Angelo.
So, a member of the shit list has won the FA Cup in Franco Di Santo.
I'm so disappointed with myself.
I am absolutely delighted that I've come from 3-0 down.
I mean, I don't mean to be rude, but the momentum was swung by a huge amount of injustice. Let's pick a United game because we all feel sorry for
ever. It's not my fault you picked Maynor Figueroa.
No matter what's happened, I've been on the end of corruption in
there
both
was no corruption this
I
one.
will say, if this was a football match, I do feel like you've benefited from a dodgy penalty, Craig, and then you've just capitalised on that really in the sense of
You're saying I'm just sending off down to 10 men.
It's
are on the
building
ropes.
that momentum, and you probably will see that in the retro games. Hopefully that'll get recorded.
Well, you actually play this game like you do the retro games. You wait for a mistake and then you score.
Tactical, no good football at all, and then one long punt over the top and it dribbles over the line as the keeper goes down the side when it goes straight down the middle.
Well, we hoping there'll be a cable coming soon. But it seems to be taking 6 bloody
So
weeks.
whoever's shipping these cables from Hong Kong, will you get the fuck on with it?
And that's it for today's episode. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and you can tweet us at HonestFootball3. And we'll see you next time.